And joining us now from the Loyola University Maryland Selinger School of Business is Michael Runnels, Associate Professor of Law and Social Responsibility. Professor, thanks for visiting MPT.
Thank you for having me, Jeff.
Our topic is space law this time. I didn't know there was such a thing. What do we mean by space law?
Indeed. Well, in 2015, the U.S. Congress passed the Space Act, which essentially allows corporations to own whatever they harvest from asteroids. Now, certainly, this sounds like an idea that's so sci-fi that it's hard not to laugh, as I almost want to now, but there are billionaires that are pumping money into these corporations, backed by corporations as prominent as Google, for example. So one of the largest corporations that are invested, they have billions of dollars of money, is called Planetary Resources, who've been directly lobbying Congress in order to pass this 2015 law. One of their founding partners is James Cameron, of course, who directed a famous
Titanic?
Of Titanic, but more apropos here, discussing his character Ripley from Aliens. She was a space miner. You know, Alien began with a space mining corporation operating ostensibly within a regulatory and legal void. And there were a number of interesting ethical and legal issues raised by this. And even though this is a early 80s sci-fi film, when you have billions of dollars lobbying for the passage of a law that creates a property entitlement in a resource that under current international law would be, well, some would argue illegal, because the one international law that speaks on this issue is called the Outer Space Treaty, signed by the U.S. and Russia during the Cold War. It's a 1967 treaty, and it allows for the peaceful use of resources and prohibits the ownership of any celestial body.
I have one question. With all of your expertise in business and law, you're a practical guy. Is it practical, even if there was an asteroid flying by that was made of nothing but diamonds, would it be economical to go get them and bring them back?
The billionaire investors and the successful lobbying efforts and the technology that we see discussed in some documentaries, certainly on Maryland Public Television as well, suggest that everything is aligned. The money is not spoken. It is speaking right now. I mean, individuals like Elon Musk are out on the forefront developing interesting technologies that can be used in mining ventures. The corporation I noted, Planetary Resources, they are also in the forefront designing.
What are they looking for? I mean, it can't be as pedestrian as iron ore. It's got to be something really valuable, right?
Exactly. Platinum, gold, silver, rare earth minerals, the type of minerals that we need to operate smartphones, increasingly the type of technology that our civilization currently relies on, are relying on these minerals. And over 90% of these rare earth minerals happen to be located in China. And we are not in a position, I would say, particularly Americans, to begin to compete on a technological plane with the mineral resources that are currently available on the market, when it's a possibility to develop asteroid mining technologies, however spectacularly absurd of an idea that sounds. Yes, Neil deGrasse Tyson, sort of the renowned astrophysicist, stated was that the first trillionaire there will ever be will be that individual who is able to exploit natural resources from asteroids.
So if that trillionaire, maybe it's Musk or somebody else, gets there, they find the gold or whatever, what's the law say now? Is it theirs?
Yes, under U.S. law, it just says the corporation can own whatever they harvest. What is left unsaid is the degree to which that conflicts with the 1967 Outer Space Treaty, which prohibits the ownership of any celestial body, which includes planets, moons, and asteroids. And so there has to be a constructive point at which the harvesting of the object becomes a constructive ownership of that object. There is also no liability for what happens if you harvest the asteroid, it cracks, it hits another mining venturer's object on the asteroid, or cracks and hits a city or somewhere on the Earth. There is no licensing or regulatory scheme for the type of activities that are not merely being planned, but we are seeing technological advances that are directed at developing space mining technology.
Any ethical issues that you see? I mean, so we've talked about the law, the practicality. Is it the right thing to do?
Well, certainly, if our species is to survive, we need to find a way to peacefully commoditize celestial resources, even though it might sound a bit extreme to discuss. Elon Musk, all of these individuals discuss plain facts about the carrying capacity of this planet to deal with the number of humans that we have on it. The type of mining industries that we have on Earth are so, well, they're unsustainable. They pump cyanide water into the ground. These activities are, by definition, unsustainable as we continue to harvest these resources from the planet. There's no sign that we are going to cease growing as a population anytime soon. And so the projection is that in the next 20 to 50 years, these theoretical discussions are going to pop up as publicly traded corporations in the stock market. So we have to do this. We have to leave the planet, certainly. In 1 billion years, the sun is going to get to a temperature, the degree to which human life on the surface, as we know, will be impossible. In 4 billion years, the sun is going to expand into a red giant and engulf the Earth, literally. So there's no question about whether or not we have to become a multiplanetary species. The only question is if we're going to be more reflective about our property entitlement to the universe.
Fascinating stuff. Professor Michael Runnels, Loyola University, Maryland. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Jeff.